Would you throw $1 million in the garbage? Of course not. That'd be absolutely ridiculous. What if I told you though that you might be doing exactly that without even knowing it? CPP and OAS are worth a fortune over your retirement, and today I'm going to break down just how valuable they are and why dismissing them could cost you over $1 million. It's your favourite Scotsman here again, and I can't tell you the number of times I have heard CPP and OAS being dismissed like a pair of old socks with holes in them. It's hardly enough to live on. That CPP won't do much for me in retirement. It's not going to pay the bills, is it? The truth of the matter is that those comments are both right and wrong. CPP and OAS they're never designed to be enough to cover your retirement income needs. But for most people, they're a very significant contributor. Let's start with the Canada Pension Plan, or CPP basics. How does it work and what can you expect to receive? You can take your CPP as early as age 60 or as late as age 70. If you choose to take your CPP at age 60, this means that you receive 36% less than if you took it at age 65. For life, the current maximum monthly pension you can receive at age 60 is $873.34. Conversely, electing to delay your CPP after age 65 results in an increase of 0.7% per month, which works out to be a grand total of 42% more if you delay all the way up to age 70. The current maximum monthly pension you can receive at age 70 is just over $1,900. The amount you will receive in retirement is based on your earnings history and the numbers of years that you've contributed. Surprise, surprise, to find out exactly what that number is, the best option is to call the CPP directly, and I will leave the details in the show notes. What about OAS, or Old Age Security? It's a wee bit simpler, sort of. The benefits are the same for everyone as long as you've lived in Canada for 40 years after the age of 18. The maximum payment is currently $718.33 monthly for ages 65 to 74 and just over $790 a month for ages 75 and over. The OAS increases every quarter with inflation, so these are the July to September 2024 amounts. If you haven't lived in Canada for 40 years after the age of 18, then you've got to do a wee bit of math. You've got to tally up every year that you've lived in Canada and divide it by 40. As an example, let's say you've lived in Canada for 30 years after the age of 18. You take 30, you divide it by 40, which equals 0.75, and you then take the maximum OAS payment, which is just over $718, and you multiply it by 0.75, which comes out to be a shade under $539. Like CPP, you do have options on when to start taking your OAS, but they're not quite as flexible. Age 65 is the earliest you can start taking it. You can delay all the way up to age 70, and you do get an increased benefit every month that you delay it for the rest of your life. The difference is that you only get 0.6% of an increase for every month you delay your OAS, as opposed to the 0.7% you get for delaying your CPP. Quick break, folks. Curious about how to maximise your retirement income? Click on the link in the pinned comments for your free retirement guide. Bob says that it's the best guide he's read on the internet. Alright, back to it. The basics are covered, and I'm sure you're sitting there wondering how exactly these small-ish monthly pension amounts are some sort of $1 million secret. The truth of the matter is that yes, these monthly amounts aren't huge, but if you assume a 20 or 30 year retirement, they add up. Let's assume that you go to the market today and buy an annuity. If you don't know what an annuity is, think of it as similar to buying yourself a guaranteed pension. Two spouses could expect to pay potentially upwards of $1 million for an annuity to get the same guaranteed indexed income that CPP and OAS offers. Let's break it down. This is what it would cost you to go buy an annuity for the equivalent of the maximum CPP and OAS pension at age 60, 65 and 70, assuming a 2% annual increase for inflation. Certainly not chump change by any stretch. It would also be fair to say that these are conservative assumptions. Annuity rates are based on current interest rates. If we assume interest rates are going to decrease in the coming months, these numbers would only be higher. The numbers would also be higher if you wanted an assumed inflation rate higher than 2%. The bottom line, do not simply dismiss your CPP and OAS as worthless. Unless you're in poor health or strapped for cash, think twice about taking CPP and OAS early. If If you're self-employed, think again about just taking dividends each year. And if you have a large pension or a large RRSP balance, think about OAS clawback down the road. CPP and OAS provide a guaranteed income that increases each year as the cost of living rises, and it will last for as long as you live on this earth, even if that is to the ripe old age of 120. There's so much more that we haven't covered today. Do you want to know how to increase your retirement income by potentially thousands of dollars? Make sure you click on the link in the pinned comment for your free retirement guide and watch this next video on how to do just that with my top CPP tips.